icon from the 10th century. In medieval Byzantium, the Virgin Mary was always considered the most important mediator between Christ and man. Look closely at the center panel with the Virgin and Child. You can see intricate detailing in the figures and the architecture. There's even a real sense of space. Mary's quite large, and she seems to barely fit into the panel. Her right shoulder and arm are in front of the column, and the top of her halo is cut off by the canopy. So she seems to be moving outward, and this makes her appear more accessible. In the year 730, an Orthodox patriarch described icons of the Virgin Mary.
But when we make a likeness of her who gave him birth, a likeness beyond all our imagining, we think of her as the all-holy house of God.
Imagine praying with this delicate object in your hands. The raised areas are quite worn from continued use, and in the background, the ivory is so thin that light can shine through it. This icon and the other small ivories you see here from medieval Byzantium were made for the private devotion of wealthy individuals and church leaders. You may wonder where the ivory to make these objects came from. After all, there were no elephants in Europe or in the Middle East. Valuable raw materials from Africa, like gold and ivory, were part of the so-called Swahili trade. It began as early as the 9th century. Kelly Holbert, assistant curator for medieval art at the Walters, explains.
Most of the ivory tusks that reached Europe were brought up from Africa along the east coast, so they were brought through the Red Sea into the Mediterranean, and this will peak in the 14th century.
Ivory also came from hippopotamus and walrus, but elephant tusks were the most highly prized due to their large size and rich, luminous color. By the 15th century, though, the trade in elephant tusks started to decline.
Ivory was a very precious substance, very luxurious. We're not sure exactly why the ivory trade started to dry up, but it may just be the scarcity of elephants. When ivory becomes scarce, they even used the bones of cows and horses, and it is also a time when tastes change as well. You find more pieces made out of gold and silver and jewels afterward,